Hi, welcome to this week's episode of the Jimmy Dore Show. I'm here with Ben Mankiewicz from Turner Classic Movies, and we're going to talk about the fiscal cliff. I was watching Press the Meat with David Gregory, and he had on some fiscal or financial analysts to help talk about the, first of all, we have to find out what's the big problem driving the debt, right? So let's go to Maria Buttafuoco from CNBC. And here's what, it's always good to start off the discussion about finances with some misinformation.
When it comes to spending cuts. 2 points here. Number one, Americans realize that the three biggest drivers of our debt are Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security.
Yes, Americans realize that Social Security is a big driver of our debt, especially the Americans who don't know anything about Social Security.
And it's so typical. It's just set up at the beginning. Like let's put the false head let's put the false head right at the top.
Yes.
Right at the top. And then we'll proceed from this insane point for the rest of the conversation.
I'd like to frame the issue inaccurately and incorrectly, and then let's see if we can break it down from there, David.
But you know, you didn't send me this clip, so I don't even know what's coming. But I am certain that David Gregory jumps right in here and corrects her.
No, that was it. He didn't know.
Really? He let that one go? Weird.
Can you believe it? Okay, so then they bring on Tom Colburn, and I think it's important to remember that when anybody says that Medicare is going bankrupt, or you hear them saying anything in the government's going bankrupt, that's called bullshit, because it's not going bankrupt. You either choose to fund it or you don't choose to fund it. Nobody ever talks about how the Pentagon's going bankrupt. Pentagon's still making money? They're still turning a profit over there at the Pentagon? Afghan war still in the black, is it? Right? They never, so just keep that in mind as we listen to Tom Colburn. He's going to address the fiscal cliff, and here's what he has to say.
So we can play the political game that is being played out in Washington right now, or we can actually be absolutely honest with the American people.
You never trust someone who says they're about to be honest with you, okay? It's like when they say, frankly, okay, it's always, no, or look, when they start with frankly, look, or I'm going to be honest, here it comes, it's like when the guy says, hey, I'm not a racist. Get ready for some racist shit to come right away.
I don't feel like I need to set up everything I say by warning you that what I'm about to say is going to be true. Yeah. You can just presume what I'm going to say is probably true. Yeah.
Tom Colburn, he is not a Washington game player.
No, total outsider.
Okay, so here's his here's what he says we have to do.
And say Medicare's going bankrupt, Social Security bankrupt, disability will be bankrupt in 2 years. Social Security Trust Fund will be bankrupt in 5 years. Social Security total will be bankrupt in probably 16, 17 years.
Now, he's not willing to play the political game, but he is willing to scare the shit out of everybody in order to make his point. Okay, and by the way, Social Security, correct me if I'm wrong, Ben, it's not going bankrupt, right? It's going to be solvent. The last time I checked the stats, until 2037, it was solvent, paying out 100% of benefits. After that, it pays out 80%, 75% of benefits till 2080, and had very minor fixes can fix Social Security. So this whole thing that it's bankrupt in 16 years, first of all, I've never heard a politician want to fix a problem that wasn't going to happen for 16 years.
Yeah, only conservative Republicans. This is their big, this is when they want to solve.
Yeah, we got to find, we've got an Afghan war going on for 14 years, but let's fix this other problem that's going to happen in 16 years.
Also, he's the first guy, 5 years. He was like some other part of Social Security. He says 5 years.
Yeah, there was some part he said that was going to go bankrupt in 5 years. And the trust fund is not, the trust fund is empty. You know what's in it? IOUs from the government for trillions of dollars. That's what's in it. That's what he means.
For stealing from the trust fund.
Yes, because they took money from Social Security to spend it on other stuff in the government, and so now when Social Security comes, hey, we need that money back. That's what they're talking about. Okay, so just so we could clarify, Medicare is not going broke. It is not a big driver of our deficit. The big driver of our deficit is healthcare costs, is what's making Medicare go over the fiscal cliff. Not the other way. Medicare isn't driving up our healthcare costs. Healthcare costs are driving up our Medicare costs, okay? So you can't fix Medicare without fixing healthcare costs, which nobody has any interest in doing, it seems. But here's what he says. Here's his fix.
We need to fix it. And the way to fix it is to control the costs. And the way to control the cost is to have more individual participation.
So that's that guy who's being completely honest with you, and he's not going to lie anymore. And he says the way to fix it is to increase participation. So he's going to be honest, use a little Orwellian speak, so you don't know what the hell he's talking about. So increased participation means that old people get to choose between eating or going to the doctor. That's by they're going to increase the part that they pay into Medicare. That says increased participation.
Individual participation.
Yes.
Sounds good.
Sounds
Who
nice.
doesn't want individual participation?
Everybody.
Responsibility. That's good. Yeah. Fuck you.
Yes, to fix Medicare and Social Security, everybody's going to have to participate in some discomfort, except for the people who don't really need Medicare. Right? They're not going to have any discomfort. And 2% imperceptible tax to the top marginal rates of the wealthiest people in the world. Yeah, that will be balanced by cutting medicine and medical care to old, elderly, and the poor. I think that sounds like balance to me. Everybody's got to take a little bit of a hit.
By the way, out-of-pocket medical expenses pushed 10.5 million people into poverty in 2011. The senior poverty rate would be cut in half if not for those expenses. But this is what we should do. Let's make them pay a little bit more.
Those people have to pay a little more.
Yeah.
That's called balance in Washington. Ben.
Everybody's going to feel a little bit. I'm going to feel a little bit. Might cost me $10, $12 a year. Yeah. And then some old guy who can't get cancer treatment, he'll feel a little too.
Yes. Donald Trump might have to pay an extra nickel for his hairspray, but this guy won't be able to see a doctor. You know, it's just common sense, Ben. If we're going to get out of this hole, we're going to have to throw a lot of poor and old people in it. There's a lot of ways to fix Medicare. For example, coming up with terms like individual participation, which sounds a lot better than what it really is, thinning the herd.